Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading 10, Canto 10, chapter, verse 14. Yata Kanta Kavida Angaha Jantoh Na Ichati Tam Yatam Jiva Samyam Gataha Lingaich Na Tata Avida Kantakah Yata Kantaka Vidangom Yata Kantaka Vidangom Jantar Nechati Tam Vyatam Jiva Samyam Gato Lingair Natata Vida Kantakaha Yata Kantaka Vidangom Jantar Nechati Tvam Vyatam Jiva Samyam Gato Lingair Natata Vida Kantakaha. Mataji's? Yata, just as Kantaka Vida Angah, a person whose body has been pinpricked, Jantaha, of such an animal, Na, not, Ichati, desires, Tam, a particular, Vyatam, pain, Jiva Samyam Gataha, when he understands that the position is the same for everyone. Lingaich, by possessing a particular type of body. Na, not, tata, so. Avida Kantakaha, a person who hasn't been pinpricked. Translation. By seeing their faces, one whose body has been pricked by pins can understand the pain of others who are pin pricked. Realizing that this pain is the same for everyone, he doesn't want others to suffer in this way. But one who has never been pricked by pins cannot understand this pain. Purport. There is a saying, the happiness of wealth is enjoyable by a person who has tasted the distress of poverty. There is also another common saying, Vandya ki bujibe prasava vedana. A woman who hasn't given birth to a child cannot understand the pain of childbirth. Unless one comes to the platform of actual experience, one cannot realize what is pain and what is happiness in this material world. The laws of nature act accordingly. If one has killed an animal, one must himself be killed by that same animal. That is called mamsa. Mam means me and sa means he. As I am eating an animal, that animal will have the opportunity to eat me. In every state, therefore, it is ordinarily the custom that if a person commits murder, he is hanged. Yata kantaka vidango jatar mechatitam yatam jiva samyam gatalingair natatavida kantakaha. By seeing their faces, one whose body has been pricked by pins can understand the pain of others who have been pricked. Realizing that this pain is the same for everyone, he doesn't want others to suffer in this way. But one who has never been pricked by pins cannot understand this pain. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindraya Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I will not ask if anyone understands English, because even my English is not up to the standards, so if something I mess up, you please help me. So this verse is spoken by Narada to Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who were frolicking in the river of Mandakini Ganga. They were completely drunk, completely naked, and they were so much drunk that they even didn't understand that they are standing naked in Mandakini Ganga. Analyzing their situation, Narada Muni said, basically, you are completely intoxicated. There are several levels on which they were intoxicated. On one level, of course, they were drunk. They were intoxicated with alcohol. On another level, they were proud. They were intoxicated with proudness. So, in analyzing this intoxication, Narada Muni said basically the root cause of this intoxication is actually your opulence. This is third level of intoxication. They were intoxicated with material energy. And actually in this world, everyone is intoxicated with the desire to enjoy senses, to enjoy material world. So this is like hospital. This is like this ward in hospital where addict patients should be treated. And part of such treatment is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim. I do not want opulence. I don't want aristocratic birth or nice poetry or nice women. Narada already said that out of all these opulences, like beauty, knowledge, or aristocratic birth, actually the wealth done is that which bewilders intelligence the most. In few verses before that, we discuss that. In the time of initiation, we are giving vow to spiritual master that we will not be intoxicated. And usually we think about grossly intoxication, that we will not take alcohol, even tea or coffee. But actually we do not have to be also intoxicated with material energy. We shouldn't be crazy to enjoy this world, because once we are in such condition, then pride appears. And Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita that first knowledge is amanita madambitvam, to be humble and to be not to be proud, to be, how you say in English, to be bereft of. You said they are more loud than you. Yeah, humble is first. Another is similar, that we should be bereft of proudness. So why this is not auspicious? Here in the purport, Prabhupada said that the happiness of wealth is enjoyable by a person who has tasted the stress of poverty. And he also said that a woman who is never been pregnant, that she cannot understand what is the pain of delivery, because she doesn't have such experience. And when we do not have experience, then how we will know what's in other person's head? In Bhopal there is one temple commander around 25-30 years old. So another devotee came to him and said, I couldn't make the service because I had a strong headache. So this is from a village boy, very healthy. So he said, what is headache? Never had headache in his 30 lives. I mean, how you can understand someone who never had headache, what the headache is? He's thinking, is it brain which is painful, or the skull, or the muscles? Is it upper part of the head, or down tooth, or chin? It's very difficult to understand for him what is headache. So there is no excuse for not doing service. Maybe it's good to have such temple commander. I'm joking. Person who are born in opulence, in wealth, they are very often, it is not necessary, but very often they are very proud. And because of that, and also they do not know how to enjoy in that opulence, because they didn't toil for this, they didn't hard work, they just born from the wealthy father. So similarly, this Kuvera and Manigriva, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they are son of Kuvera. Kuvera is the treasurer, and they didn't know to appreciate what they got. And very often such sons just squander money and opulence. My father was on one sermon in church and said that the priest said that statistically looking, that every third or fourth generation squanders money of those who previously earned that money. My father joked, I would like the time that third one, because he toiled very much in his life. So they do not appreciate, and on top of that, they also doesn't have empathy for those who are poor. And this Prabhupada is talking about that in purport, because they never suffered, they never had experience what the poverty is, they never had experience how it is to be hungry. And I remember when some discussion was in US, I read in once I saw on internet that was discussion, should this tax be up for the wealthy people? And wealthy people, they are naturally opposed of this, including wealthy MPs, these members of parliament. And this who suggested this law said it would be fair, you know, because you have more taxes, more money that you pay more for the others, for the purpose of ruling the country, so that your wealth can be distributed properly. So one member of parliament said, some people, they are born with silver spoon and some without spoon. Maybe you can say that this is not fair, but the life is not fair by itself. So such person is lacking of empathy. They cannot be generous. But here it is said in the verse that just by seeing the face of person who is suffering, the poor person can understand. Actually, sometimes Krishna also put his devotees in suffering condition, and he said that then after the suffering, when he had a contact with Krishna, when he had happiness of that, then this happiness is even sweeter. Or it is said that for the hungry person, food had special taste. So yes, but those who have full plate, they cannot understand those who are hungry. In our country there is a saying that a person who is not hungry, who satisfied his hunger, that he doesn't believe to the person who is hungry, because experience are difference. I remember Hari Shauri probably told also on one lecture that one wealthy person was asked, why do you not associate with your friends from school? He said, because I'm wealthy and they always ask me for money. He was just straightforward. So it said they cannot have empathy for each other. And Prabhupada then said that in purport, the laws of nature act accordingly. In other words, if you do not have empathy for those in that situation, then you will be in that situation very soon. Then you will understand how it is to be in another person's shoes. And these laws of nature are very stringent, and Prabhupada said in purport that if one kills animal, he will be eaten by this animal. So in the next life, one can be in that situation to see how is be in that situation. Some kids were throwing stones on the frogs. So the frogs were killed. So frogs asked, what are you doing? And the kids said, we are playing. We're just playing, throwing stones. Then the frog said, but what is for you play, for us is perish. No, for us is death. So this is example of different experiences. So Prabhupada said, eating meat is called mamsa. Mamsa, mam means as I'm eating you, later you will eat me. Ma means me and sa means he. So we can also see from this example how Vedic civilization was from the ancient time very spiritual, because these words are not just simple letters together, but gives you philosophical understanding. If you eat meat, then you will be in problem. So Prabhupada sometimes also like to say that understand means to stand under, such descriptive that we should be under authority. But generally speaking, English and other languages on the West are not meant for philosophy. But Sanskrit, we can see so many these spiritual terms are inside. We have different kleshas, then different muktis, so many these spiritual terms which are very difficult even to translate on other languages. And from such terms, including this mamsa, we can understand how much spiritual was surroundings in ancient India. If we find, for example, in some language 5 different terms for snow, then we can easily understand that this civilization, these people, were living in such conditions. Or different, let's say, term for sand, then we will understand this is a nation which lived in some desert. But when we find such opulent vocabulary regarding spiritual terms, then we can understand also how much was this spiritual civilization on this area. So basically Narada Muni said, because dhanam, because opulence is problem, and you became intoxicated with opulence, with false ego, with alcohol, you should be without that opulence. And Krishna actually say, when in 10th canto 88 chapter, Yasyaha anugrahami harishyata dhanam shanaik, he said, when I favor some person very much, then I gradually take him all this wealth. And then later, naturally, when person is poverty-stricken, relatives, wives, kids, they all abandon him. So once Prabhupada asked devotee's father, so finally get you rid of this bad habit of smoking. So gentleman said, couldn't I get some special mercy from the Lord? Because it's difficult. So Prabhupada said, yes, you can. Krishna said in 10th canto 88 verse that when Lord is especially favor someone, then he make him poor. Then after that his family abandoned him, and then he suffered double. Do you still want that mercy? I said, I will manage by myself to get rid of cigarettes. Yeah, like that. So from one point of view, yes, opulence, we can say that as Prabhu said yesterday, money or opulence is neutral. It's not that money is bad. It is just how we use this money or opulence. But we can very often see also that those who have money, those people, they are misusing this money. And that's the reason. So why this is not position good? Because then naturally they become proud, and when they are proud, then they do not allow others to come into their house, and that's actually the root cause of their bad situation. Because then holy person, sannyasi or saint or devotee, cannot come into his house because he has doorkeeper. And then he is unapproachable. Unlike that, poor man is easily approachable. So sannyasi or sadhu or devotee, under the pretext actually of poverty, comes into other people's houses, and it is not that he is asking for dana, for mercy, for his money, but this is just pretext. He wants to give actually knowledge to such householder. But because wealthy people, they do not simply allow that other comes to their property. They want to be. They don't want to be disturbed. They don't want that other plunder their money, and because of that, also Jesus said that it's more easily to go to for camel to go through the eye of the needle than to wealthy men come to the kingdom of God. Actually, Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness doesn't depend about wealth, about poverty, or even don't depend about if somebody is illiterate or can read. We can see from examples South Indian Brahmana who was illiterate, but he got salvation. So Prabhupada said actually Krishna consciousness doesn't depend. But as I said, many people will misuse that position, and then they are in problem. So Krishna doesn't say, to me can come only those who are wealthy, who are beautiful, who are glorious, or who are very strong. These are qualities which matters in this world. Ordinary people choose their friends according to these. If somebody is wealthy or very famous, beautiful or strong, then he can become friend. But Krishna has different criteria, and he doesn't abandon any group of people. Just surrender is needed. That's also why Krishna's name is Dinabandhu. Even poor man can offer little flour, little water. So he is easily approachable, because Krishna is the most opulent person. Krishna itself means very attractive because he has 6 opulences. So that person who has all wealth, how you can impress him with small wealth? That's what Duryodhana tried, to make a nice feast without love. Krishna didn't accept it when he came to Duryodhana, but from another point of view, he accepted Vidura's wife's simple offering, which wasn't even eatable. These peels of, I would say, from banana, this first part, skin. And we can see also how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also enjoyed to drink water from Sridhar's dent pot, or how Krishna enjoyed in simple offering in the forest when the Yudhishthir and brothers were in exile. So Krishna doesn't depend about wealth. He is interested in love of someone's love. But people of this world, they are interested. Money is honey. They think this is the measurement of success in this life. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing on the streets of Navadvip, some local Brahmins came to Chandkazi, and they also gossiping around the Navadvip. They say also, these people are beggars, these are poor people, they are just exhausting themselves by this singing, and they are poor. After this singing, they will stay poor. So what's the use of this singing? People were gossiping. Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavata describe. And they say also, so you see, maybe it's okay to sing on Ekadashi. Today is Ekadashi. But all the time sing, this is not proper. And especially now, because now is Chaturmasya, they said. So during Chaturmasya, we are taking rest, so they are disturbing us. And similarly, Vishnu is taking rest in his abode. So these people are disturbing Vishnu. So Vishnu will become angry. And when Vishnu is angry, he will not give us rain. So when we do not have rain, then the price will go up. Then we will be poor. We will stay without our money because rice will go up, and then we will be hungry, we will be poor. So they are like that. They are concentrating on wealth. And this question about wealth and poverty, and it's very prominently asked on the lectures, and even in our scriptures. Parikshit Maharaj asks why Shiva's followers live in opulence when Shiva looks like a detached person, and vice versa. Krishna's devotees live in poverty, and Krishna is the most wealthiest person in the world. So Shukadev, in answer on this question, said, Shukadev said, actually the same question Yudhishthira after Rajasuya Yagya asked Krishna. So this is one of the very often asked question. And then in answer on that, this Vrikasura story is written, how the Shiva's followers, they are so much intoxicated with these boons that sometimes they even want to kill this person who gave them the boon because of this arrogance. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he was teasing Kolavecha Sridhar. So he said also, you are poor Brahmana. He was poor Brahmana, he was selling some cheap items, but he was completely in ecstasy. He was all day and night singing glories of the Lord. So the neighbor said, this Kolavecha Sridhar is again singing this night. Probably this is because he cannot sleep, because he is hunger. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said also, so you are worshipping husband of Lakshmi. How that you are poor and all these people around you, they are worshipping Chandi, Durga, and they all have more than you. And you are hungry, you are without clothes, your thatched roof is leaking. So he was testing his devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took position of Shakta to glorify actually his devotee, that he can answer on these questions, overall can see what's the real opulence. And Kolavecha Sridhar said, it's not that I'm hungry, I eat simple food, but I'm not hungry, and besides of that, I have also clothes. It's not maybe first class clothes, but it serves the purpose. And if you analyze the position of king and pauper in this world, more or less their lives are more or less same. You know, they eat, they sleep. It's not so big difference. And Prabhupada said also in this purport that realizing this pain is that this pain is same for everyone. When somebody has headache, either he is pauper or he is a king, it's the same, you know. So he gave him possibility actually to glorify this exalted position of devotee. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also gave purport on this Chaitanya Bhagavata and said, sometimes these exalted devotees come from Vaikuntha and they play role of poor man. But it's not that they are suffering. They are completely in ecstasy. Tomara sevaya dukkha hayayata. Sevata parama sukha sharanagati, he quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that whichever poor condition comes, this will be a source of my happiness. I will consider that my topmost happiness. So once Prabhupada was walking with devotees in Navadvip, and he showed them one tree and said, you see, on this tree, original tree, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preached 500 years ago. Later, flood washed away this tree, but in that time, 70s, Prabhupada was there and said, you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached to many people under this tree. Prabhupada said, but I am poor Bengali man. If I preach under this tree, who will listen to me? And because of that, we need this Mayapur project. Because Prabhupada said, today people are more attracted by big buildings. Tourists come to New York to see big skyscrapers. So they are not so much into hearing, they more want to see. So Prabhupada also in this short, interesting conversation actually discover us why we are building such big temples like this. Because people will not hear. People just want to see miracle. So then we made like such miracle, so then they come and they be impressed. As I said yesterday to Gokul Chandra Prabhu, this temple will be good preaching even for atheists. You can even atheists bring into this temple, because it's so impressive that they will see all this culture, and with culture they will got some pills of Krishna consciousness along with that. So as Prabhupada said, we built the house in which all the world can fit. Similarly, even atheists can come in temple and appreciate and get some agyata sukriti. So even atheists will be impressed by this. But the purport is not seeing, purport is hearing from Prabhupada. What about hearing about Bhagavatam? That we should not become proud because of opulence. And this is also a lecture for all of us, that we should always stay humble. So Narada Muni, as we will see in these later verses, he cursed these two brothers. Actually, yesterday, one of the last sentences in purport was that any kind of punishment cannot correct the person. And Prabhupada discussed this with this criminal policeman in Chicago in Science About Self-Realization, this Mose Mozi, I don't know how it is read, and he said to him, you can punish person, but the same propensity will stay in heart. And even if punishment is severe, this will not correct the person, because when he comes out of prison, he will do that again, or he will always have tendency to do that. And then in one moment, he will say, I will try, nobody will catch me. He will not be healed. So Prabhupada gave the remedy, we should sing more on the streets, please make us possible this, then the nation will be also treated. Because when these people come out of the jail, yes, they will be afraid of if punishment is severe, but the propensity will be inside. And then in one moment they will again do it. So you cannot, as you cannot rely on drunkard, you cannot say that for any drunkard he is reliable person. This is not possible because in itself the root cause is root quality is if you drink, then you are not reliable. So Prabhupada also said it's not possible to be good person and atheist because you will always have impure heart. You will always have tendency to satisfy your senses at a cost of others people. And I was shocked and confused when I first saw this conversation with Prabhupada and Brahmatirtha in Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. Prabhupada said, atheists cannot be good person. And for me, it sounded rush, how if somebody do not steal, somebody do not kill. But then later I understood it cannot be because he always have impure heart. So similarly, this Nalakuara and Managriva, they got punishment. They got punishment that they have to beat trees. And actually, this is not punishment because the same destiny would wait for them anyway because they were lusty. We have in Bhagavad Gita picture who is lusty, then he later becomes a tree. Because then if you want to stay naked in Ganges, you can be a tree next to the Ganges. And so this wasn't punishment because that was just natural tendency. And curse of devotee is the same as praise because he is not envious. It will be unfold in this story. But he actually blessed them because you said you will remember what you did and you will also have darshan after 100 years with Krishna. So he actually blessed them to become Krishna consciousness after some time, and that's the glorious position of Narada Muni, and later they got this Krishna consciousness. So as we can see, he didn't actually curse them, he blessed them that they have darshan with Krishna and that they have remembrance what they did previously wrongly. So as it is said that holy person is sometimes like Vajra, sometimes like Kamala, thunderbolt and flower, but actually the final result is the same as we can see from this story. As Krishna has two weapons, two other things, but with weapons he also acts as this flower, and also we can see from the vice versa that Balaram killed Ramaharshana with the flower, with the grass. So like that, this is absolute position of the Lord and absolute position of his devotee. So in this verse, Prabhupada discussed that Narada Muni decided that because the root cause of their proudness was opulence, that they will stay without opulence. And it is not that Narada Muni is doing that out of his anger, and he also explains them why he's doing that. And in this explanation, he said that opulence is actually root cause of this proudness, and you will stay without that opulence. And he is preparing stage for the final curse, but also explain them why is so. And this is also why I was and still am so much impressed with Prabhupada books, because it is not that he just gave curse, or it is not that just Prabhupada said Krishna is God, but he scientifically explains us why it is so. He gives the definition, he gives complete knowledge in which we can relish, we can serve devotees and Krishna, and if we do so, then we can always stay in humble state of mind and without proudness. So thank you very much. Do you have some question or comment?
Hare Krishna. Pranam. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that whoever in the path of devotional service, if they couldn't complete, they either take birth in a devotee's family or a rich family. So here the opportunity is given for taking birth in rich family. So how they will use it, how to understand it.
How they use?
How they use proper. Here you are saying that opulence is an obstruction.
Yeah. So I can answer this question because yesterday Kripakara Prabhu taught me this because I asked the same question yesterday. So actually, opulence is advantage, because one cannot be opulent if he didn't do if he wasn't pious in previous lives. So whoever has either strength, either wealth, either beauty, this is all a result of previous pious activities. Prabhu gave example how on every corner of USA previously was a church. So it's not just by chance that Americans are wealthiest people in the world. Similarly, I read once that Albania was officially atheistic country, which all mosques turn into factories, as Nehru once suggested for India, and he was expelled from Sri Rangam temple. But they did it. So he said it's not also by chance why they are so poor. So opulence is for sure advantage, because if one has enough money, then he has more time. If you have more time, then you can utilize this time not to toil, not to work hard, but you can study Shastra. You have now time. Krishna gave you this opulence to use it nicely. You can associate with devotees. If you are wealthy, you can travel, visit holy places like that. So opulence is advantage in spiritual life. But because opulence is like a drug, actually, they use it wrongly. It is said that every remedy, pills, you are doctors, can be, it's the same definition as poison. Just depends about dosage. Every remedy is poison if it is not used properly. So similarly, those opulence, if you do not use it properly, then it will be poison. And how much you misuse it, it's like ticket to hell. If you misuse it more, that your destination will be more down, Patala and these lower planets. But if you use it correctly, then it will be big advantages in your life. As Prabhupada said, finally it is not that Krishna consciousness depends about wealth or poor. And we can see in our Sampradaya Vaishnavas who are very wealthy, but who didn't use this opulence like a poison. Pundarika Vidyanidhi, he was completely conscious, lived in big opulence, And we can have also contemporary examples like Ambarish Maharaj, a wealthy person who gave money to Prabhupada to build temple, to buy temples, etc. And these are examples which we should follow. But we could always praise to Krishna, please, because this strong tendency is there, please save me. So when Sudama Vipra was coming out of Krishna's palace, he didn't think, he didn't give me anything, and I was his best friend and I'm still poor. No, he was thinking, thank you, Krishna, for not giving me this opulence, because if you gave me this opulence, I will surely bloop, to say in modern, our ISKCON language. So when he finally saw this opulence and came to the palace, and he also, before that, he was thinking, actually I am Brahma Bandhu, and Krishna embraced me. So he stayed humble. So when he finally saw this opulence, he was thinking, this opulence can be very tricky. Actually, Krishna gave to Dhruva, to Prahlad opulence. And for them it wasn't a problem, because they are great devotees. And they know how to use it. But because I am not such great devotees, please Krishna protects me. So Jiva Goswami explains, because of such humble attitude, that the last traces of impurity in his heart were cleaned and he was eligible to go to Vaikuntha. And he said, what's the last traces of this impurity? That he had understanding, I am detached Brahman. He was little proud because of his poor condition. And that's also our position. In whichever position we are, as Prabhu yesterday told, even beggar is proud for his 1 pound in pocket. So when we are coming, once the devotee came in front of Prabhupada and said, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, you are not most anything, you are the ordinary, you are just average. Because when we want to be most, either in this side or on this side, we are doing this out of false ego. And we want to be the most detached. So similarly, he said some small trace of this enjoying mentality in his purity, poverty. But because of such thoughts, he glorified Prahlad Maharaj, and he said, actually, I am not eligible for this opulence, please Krishna protect me. He was afraid of Maya. He was then, in that moment, completely purified. Right.
I just thought one point in this today's verse, this particular point being said about pin pricking, one has to know the suffering of the other person. Then, so you can see Narada Muni very much is pointing out to that. Because Krishna also says in the Gita that Sayogi Paramomata, one who understands the suffering of the other devotee, and then in happiness and distress, he sees him equally. So he's considered a great yogi. So we can see here that that point is being mentioned. So even for a preacher, so if he naturally one will engage in preaching, seeing that people are suffering. So that's an inspiration from the Gita also. It's very much connected with the verse.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.